Hey guys, and welcome back to Art a la Carte, and it's time for another Color Pencil 101, and today I'm going to begin to tackle coloring hair. Now disclaimer, this isn't a how to draw hair video. This is now you've drawn your hair, what do you do with it? How do you color it? I do have two different videos that I have done like 2 years ago. I'm planning on redoing them in the near future, but for right now, they're better than nothing. And I'll leave links to those videos in the description box below. They'll kind of get you started. So I want to first start off with this. This is my sketchbook that I've been working on. I just started this new sketchbook. It doesn't have much in it yet. But I have a drawing that I've been working on the last couple of days. If you follow me on Instagram, you're going to recognize some of the pictures in here. I usually post a lot of my sketchbook pictures on Instagram. But this is one that I'm working on right now. And it's something that I've been working on, probably like actively working, probably 3 different evenings. So I'm taking my time with this, and it's a lot of fun. But again, it's a lot of work. It's not something that you can just come up with and do in just, 5 or 10 minutes. It's a lot of layering and blending and shadowing and highlighting and all that. So I want to take you step by step how I do this on different types of hair, whether it's straight hair, curly hair, long hair, short hair, all that kind of stuff. So this video, we're not going to jump into this main detailed version yet. We're going to kind of back it up a little bit more and go with some really just basic kind of cartoon sketches and how to color those. So I went ahead and drew up on this board 5 different heads with different types of hair. So I have the short and kind of fluffy hair. I've got the long straight. I've got hair that's done kind of pulled back into like a braid, kind of guy's hair. And then I've got long and fluffy and flowing hair and all that good stuff. So if you stay to the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can get your own printable version of this so that you can practice it out as well. So even if you're not able to draw these kinds of hair yet, but you want to be able to practice what we talked about today, you'll be able to practice on this very picture as well. So again, more about that at the end of this video. I'm going to do these in 5 different videos, and we're going to take each one in one video because I want to be able to really focus on each individual hair, because remember, using color pencil is not about really fastly getting something done, because anyone can just take a color pencil and color over something and put color in it. But if you really want to make it look nice, it's going to take time. So I want to present a video for each type of hair. And I'm also going to be presenting in different colors, so you can see how to draw, a light color hair, or a dark colored hair, or a medium colored hair, all of that kind of stuff too. So the first one we're going to take is this short kind of little bob haircut here. Alright, here we go. Here's her little face, and I went ahead and already pencil sketched this in, inked this in, and the ink is completely dry now and ready for me to add color. I'm also going to let you know, guys, I'm still battling a cold, so my nose is stuffy, so if I act, if I sound kind of plugged up and all that good fun stuff, that is why. Alright, so for this first hairstyle, we're going to take and just create kind of a brown hairdo. And so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to find your base color, the color that is your hair without shadow, without highlight, and figure that one out first. So I'm going to pick in just this really light umber color pencil, and I'm going to begin to place this color in here. The thing you're going to want to remember is that you don't want any directional lines right now. You want everything to be nice and flat and smooth. I have a lot of you guys sending me pictures of your work, asking me to give you any tips and helps with them. I love seeing them. Sometimes it's a little challenging for me to verbally give help to you. So a lot of times I'll take the things that you send me and I'll try to incorporate that into a video. So if you ever ask me a question or send me artwork and I don't quite answer your question, look for videos to come up covering that topic. So what I'm getting a lot of right now in photos that people send me of their color pencil work is that it's rushed, that they want to just hurry up and finish this piece so they can see the end product. And believe me, I totally understand how you feel. I was that way too. I wanted to see what the end product looked like, and I didn't want to spend the time and the effort to really patiently lay down my color and my shadow and my highlight. But if you really want your artwork to improve and you really want a nice quality to your artwork, that's one of the elements that has to go into it, is time and patience and the time needed to perform that task. So you see, you're not going to see any directional lines in here. I'm really blending those out. I'm keeping a nice even color tone. There's no really dark areas. As the best of my ability, I'm keeping it as flat as possible. Now we obviously don't want this to always remain flat because it's really not going to make our picture look like it has any volume or dimension to it. So we're going to be adding that later, but we want to get this base color down here first. Now, after you totally understand how to do color, you don't have to do all these steps in this order. You might find your own method of doing things, and that's perfectly fine. That's what makes artists unique and fun to watch and fun to look at how they create. But this is the best way that I can go about teaching you, is having to take you through these step-by-steps. But once you figure it out, have fun just kind of playing around with it. A lot of artists will start and go with the darkest shadows first. Some will go with the highlights first, whatever works best for them. So I've covered this all the way over with my just base color. I'll still be able to put in some highlight in there. I'm still going to be able to put some dark in there because I haven't burnished anything. Everything is just very nicely, softly placed on there. The next step is I'm going to go ahead and begin putting in my shadows. I'm going to grab this one here. This is a dark brown, and I encourage you, if your pencils are starting to get a little dull here, get them sharpened. I have some people that send me pictures and their pencils are so dull that like the wood is impeding their ability to color. Don't be afraid to sharpen up your pencils and have a nice sharpened edge to them. So there we go, nice and sharp. Now, where do you add your shadows? You don't want to just add them willy-nilly. I'm going to add them first on places that I want to push back. So this hair here, I want to push back behind the face. So I'm going to go ahead and lay in some color here. I want to make a little bit of a difference between this curl and this curl, so I'm going to add a little bit of shadow here, not a lot, and I'm going to gradient it out. So it comes to a dark edge up to this one, but from here out, it's going to gradient. Okay, same thing down here. I'm going to add a nice dark color right there, and then I'm going to fade that out. Nice and smooth. Okay, right back here, I want to push this back because I want her bangs to kind of pop forward a little bit. So nice and dark, but see how that's just, it brings too much focus onto that point. So then I will gradient that out, blending, blending, blending. And remember, you do that by varying the pressure that you put on your colored pencil. The harder you push, the darker the line is. So sometimes you're just running with just the, the weight of the pencil is all you want. I'm going to add a little bit right here. Just kind of push that back in here. Same thing with this curl back here. I want to push this back. I don't want to leave it harsh, unless that's the style you're going for. There's a lot of art that has that just really distinct shading style. But that just comes with you practicing, deciding what kind of style you like. And I want to do that here. I'm going to bring this all the way underneath, back around behind her head. And maybe just add a little bit right in here. Not too much though. The shadowing we've done so far is just shadowing to push things back and pull things forward. But now we want to think about shadowing to add a little bit more volume to things. And so as we look at this, we want to think of where the light's coming to and the first point that it's going to hit. So as it comes down here, it's going to hit the crown of her head. So I'm not going to add any shadow around here, but I might add a little bit coming down along over here, because this part is going to be pushed down a little bit further, but I'm going to gradient out because I want the light to kind of hit on these kind of outer points of the curl. It's going to pull the curls out a little bit. So I'm going to put just a little bit, and not as dark as what I did before. The darker you put your shadow, the more severely it's going to like pull and push things around. And I always say just go nice and slowly so that you can kind of add it gradually, because it's easy to add more, it's harder to take it away. And you'll see I'm kind of making this kind of just shadowed line very lightly to kind of show as this lock is coming out into this curl, kind of separating it out just a little bit without having to draw that line. Add a little bit of shadow here because here's where the light's hitting in the highlight and it's pushing down into this part, and then the volume of the hair is going to be pulling back up again. So by adding a little bit of shadow right in here, I'm able to do that as well. Give that kind of feel of volume and movement to the hair. Alright, as it's coming down along this way, I might just add a very subtle darkening to the hair as it comes out this way. Because this part here is closer to the light, and it comes down around the crown of the head. It's going to sink down just a little bit. No defined lines, just gradient. Working nice and slow. But because I want these bangs to look like they're popping out, I'm going to have the highlight again here, and I'm going to bring my shadows down along here, on the underside of the bangs here. Now you'll see that I'm leaving just a little bit of a light right here. It's called a rim light, and it adds a little bit more dimension. A rim light is either light that is cast along the back side or a reflective light from some other surface. But if you just leave a little bit of that light, it adds a little bit more of a 3D dimension to things. Okay, I'm going to do the same effect that I did with these curls here. I'm going to try to get this effect over here. So I'm going to pull this down and around. And then maybe just a little bit right in here. A lot of this isn't a hard and fast rule, like you have to put the shadow here and here and here. A lot of it is just instinct. You know, as you begin to practice this more and more and you become, you know, more familiar with how light interacts with things, the more you're going to just say, oh, I think it's a little bit more right there and a little bit more right there. That's what makes you an artist, is your interpretation of it. It doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong, it's your interpretation. So don't be scared of messing up something. It's okay. Okay, so we have a little bit more of our shadow place here. I'm going to deepen now my shadow here because I want those bangs to really pop up. So you notice I'm using the side of my pencil instead of the very point because I'm pushing a little bit harder and I don't want that really strong line to from the pencil. I'm going to use the side to kind of help give a flatter shadow to that. So now what I want to do is begin to add in a little bit of a highlight. So I'm actually going to take this kind of a peach skin tone and I'm going to begin to blend in the hair to the highlight. So that's making it a little bit smoother. It's getting closer to being burnished. And I'm going to make my lines in the direction that the hair goes. So if I do have any lining, the lines are going to work with me, not against me. So draw in the direction the hair will be flowing. So as I draw this, I'm not going to draw across, I'm going to draw down in this kind of swooping S curve. And I'm not burnishing my lightest lights yet. Okay, now I'm going to take a highlight color. With this I'm going to take a little bit of a yellow. I'm going to give her some kind of goldeny highlights. And you're going to see just by adding a little hints of this, again, I'm going to still reserve a little bit of my lighter shade for my brightest highlights there. But I'm just going to put a little bit of yellow in there, and you just see it warms it up, adds a little bit of a shine. And you'll just keep adding it until it looks right to you. It's the right consistency, the right tone. Now, if you'd like for your lightest lights, you can go back with your white if you want that kind of burnished a little bit, and to kind of add a little bit of white to that. But I want it to have all the similar texture, so I'm going to use my white to kind of finish burnishing that. So the hair is done. It took, as you can see, it took a little bit of time to do, but I like it. And you can continue on with this, adding even darker shadings and all that. But this is nice for the style that I'm going for. This is what I wanted. But yeah, hopefully this helps you out. Again, I will be doing the rest of these pictures in upcoming videos, so make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on those. And how do you get your own copy of this? I'm going to leave a link to this in the description box below that will take you to my Facebook page where you can print off this picture for yourself. So if you do and try practicing coloring that, take a picture of it, send it to me to either my Facebook page or Instagram. I'd love to see what it looks like. Well, thank you guys for joining me for this tutorial. Again, sorry that my voice is kind of nasally sounding, but hey, at least we have a video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.